The Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos Reign story was a bit disappointing to say the least. Pretty much everyone agrees that it wasn't as good as it could have been, and it wasn't at all what we really expected. So today, I would like you to join me as through the power of hindsight and my personal sensibilities, as I tell you what I would have done with Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos Reigns. And before we begin, make sure that you like and follow, or else the Combat Kitty will rip your genitals off. We're going to start with a quick overview of the story as it was to get us all caught up to speed. If you already have the details fresh in your mind and just want to skip to my version, go to this time in the video. We start with Sector and Cyrex fighting in a simulation where Bihan shows up and says, hey, we're gonna go crash Scorpion's wedding. Cyrex has trepidation saying that attacking somebody at their wedding is a, quote, move. But she is overruled and they go and attack Kuai Ling Harumi's wedding. They attack, Cyrex learns that Bihan is a jerk, and Sub-Zero and Sector are arrested. While Liu Kang and Mileena discuss how Sector and Sub should be punished, Titan Havoc shows up, kidnaps Garrus, so he can use his special blood to charge the Kamidogu, and at the end, Sub-Zero dives into the Chaos Zone. Liu Kang assembles a team of Cyrax, Sector, and Scorpion to go to the Chaos Zone and retrieve both Garrus and Bihan. On the way, they meet variants of characters that we know, like World War II Johnny, Emperor Rain, and Empress Tanya. They end up in the Chaosium, also known as the best stage in the entire game. Havoc forces them into a bunch of different fights, and they end up in a maze of death. Along the way, Emperor Rain dies. After that, they meet up with a dragon named Orin that has been enslaved by Titan Havoc. They show them that Tanya can talk to dragons, and after that, Orin teleports them to where they need to go in order to save Garrus. But, here's Noob Saibot, and they immediately kick his butt and drag his unconscious body to where Garrus is being kept. They save Garrus, grab the Kamidogu, teleport away, and Titan Havoc is angry. Liu Kang unbrainwashes Noob, and then Havoc comes to take back his stolen toys, getting the Kamidogu back literally immediately. Noob Saibot ends up fighting through a ton of Chaos people until they end up face to face with Titan Havoc, where Noob is the one to defeat him by virtue of...
Give it up, baby. I've studied all your moves.
After beating Titan Havoc, Noob tries to throw hands with Liu Kang, only to be stopped by Garrus. Noob Saibot then gets put into a healing coffin to be turned back into Sub-Zero. Sector now leads to Lin Kuei, and Cyrax joins the Shiryu after being forgiven by Scorpion, Finn. And that breakdown might have sounded a little bit better than it actually was. It's not the worst thing ever, but I was heavily disappointed, and pretty much everyone else was. So now I'm going to go through this chapter by chapter and give you what I would have done. Chapter 1, Cyrax. And honestly, I would have kept this pretty much the exact same. It is perfectly fine, and it got everyone into their respective places. Chapter 2, Sector. And again, I wouldn't change very much here. Sub and Sector get captured, Liu and Mileena are discussing how they should be tried and punished for their indiscretions, when Titan Havoc shows up and kidnaps Garrus. They do their best to fight him off, but they end up getting him, and Sub-Zero dives through the portal. Liu Kang is like, oh no, we need to get Garrus back immediately, because whatever Havoc has planned, if it involves kidnapping my Herald of Time, it's definitely not going to be good. We need to assemble the team. When suddenly... Liu Kang gets a phone call. Yes, Liu Kang has a cell phone. It's a gift from Johnny Cage, as well as being an experimental piece of technology from a certain Earthrealm government agency. And speak of the devil, it's Johnny.
Hey, back down, my man. I don't suppose you're the one opening up pink portals all over the place, are you?
And that transitions us right into Chapter 3, Johnny Cage. Johnny is calling Liu on the set of his newest movie, Ninja Marine. Coincidentally, right in the middle of his set, a massive pink portal has opened up, and it's not the only one, as social media is blowing up with, hey, what's with this big pink hole in reality in Los Angeles, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Sydney, Moscow, Cleveland? As Johnny's on the phone with Liu, a horde of Chaos Realmers pour out and start attacking people at random. Titan Havoc is sending his minions all over Earthrealm to cause chaos and pull Liu Kang's attention away from rescuing Garrus. But in the immediate time, Johnny Cage pockets his phone and starts fighting the Chaos Homies to try and protect his set and his crew. He fights Chaos Baraka, Chaos Kung Lao, Chaos Raiden, Chaos Katana, Chaos Reptile, Chaos Tanya, all 1v2, as he's the only one on set with any real fighting experience. Johnny's getting tired, overwhelmed, and he can't beat them all by himself. And then backup arrives. Kenshi and Jackson Briggs of the Outworld Investigation Agency drop out of a helicopter in their fancy men in black suits to help fight off the Chaos Horde. One more fight where Johnny has Jax as a cameo, and the soldiers of the OIA help clean up the rest. Johnny gets a call back from Liu, who explains that has gone sour and instructs him to go with Kenshi and help try and control the invading forces. Liu Kang talks with Mileena, asking for Outworld's help in defending Earthrealm. She says, sorry, between Shao's rebellion and the threat of Titan Havoc possibly opening up a bunch of portals in Outworld, she cannot spare any resources. Liu explains that he needs everyone that he can, including himself, on Earthrealm to defend the home turf. But he is going to send in Scorpion, Cyrax, Sector, and Smoke into the Chaos Zone to try and retrieve Garrus and Bi-Han. And speaking of, Chapter 4, Bi-Han. Yeah, so you know this scene? That becomes its own prolonged sequence. Sub-Zero facing down a horde of Chaos Realmers in a long endurance match, tossing out fatalities and brutalities left and right. He beats off 8 to 12 of them before facing down Titan Havoc himself. And while you fight as hard as you want, it is a mortal versus a Time Titan. And Havoc wins in the end, capturing Bi-Han for Project Saibot. Chapter 5, Smoke. Team Ninja is sent into the Chaos Zone, much like they were in the OG story. They go through the area trying to find any leads that they can, but you are now playing as Smoke instead of Sector. During this time, they begin to bicker, Scorpion the Cyber. Scorpion gets all angry about, how can I possibly trust you when you follow Bi-Han? Which gives Smoke the chance to swoop in and be like, hey, we were Lin Kuei too. We followed Bi-Han too. Do you know that every single order that Bi-Han ever gave was 100% true? Do you know that there was never a single time where Bi-Han ever misled you and had you attack or capture an innocent person? You have no place to judge them right now, and more importantly, we all have to work together if we're going to complete our mission out here. After that fire is put out, they get to the market where, instead of finding World War II Johnny fleeing from Havoc's men, they find a Kung Lao variant. They save him and he takes the group to the leader of the resistance, Emperor Rain. Chapter 6, Rain. This part plays out very similar to how it did in the base story. They go to the Chaos Seam to rescue Empress Tanya. They get caught in fortune of the games. They try to escape into the maze. Afterwards, they get separated. Tanya, Rain, Sector, and Smoke on one team, and Kung Lao, Cyrax, and Scorpion on the other. Chapter 7, Kung Lao. You take control of Alt Kung Lao for the majority of the maze, fighting against different Chaos Realmers and giving Scorpion and Cyrax the opportunity to bond/butt heads, with Kung Lao occasionally interjecting verbally or physically. Until they get stuck in a death trap, similarly to the original. In trying to find an escape, Kung Lao notices the answer. It's a switch that can't be reached by hand. Kung Lao throws his hat, tripping the switch, allowing Scorpion and Cyrax to quickly escape, but resulting in Kung Lao's demise before he can get out as well. This way we get our token Kung Lao death without losing the one that we really care about, and that noble Rain sacrifice that we saw in the original story can be saved for when it really matters in the main story, with the Rain who is actively looking to atone for his sins. Chapter 8, Tanya. The group all reunite, they fight their way to Orin, Tanya speaks with Orin, and they get ported away, like they did in the original timeline, to where they can go find and save Garrus. Chapter 9, Scorpion. Again, plays out very similar to how they did before. Scorpion and Noob Saibot fight it out, they capture/rescue Noob, they fight their way to Garrus, free him, grab the Kamidogo real quick, and escape. Emperor Rain and Empress Tanya end up staying behind in a bid to buy them some time and fight off the Chaos Realmers. Chapter 10, Noob Saibot. We're nearing the end here. Liu Kang cleanses Noob's mind and Titan Havoc shows up to reclaim the Kamidogu, as they had just finished charging right before the blue guy stole them. It becomes a game of keep away with everyone trying to defend the box of Kamidogu. You have 4 fights with Noob Saibot, 2 with Scorpion as a cameo and 2 with Smoke as a cameo, for obvious reasons, when suddenly Titan Havoc manages to get the Kamidogu, grievously wounding Smoke in the process. Havoc shoves them into his chest, and Noob Saibot's like, I'm gonna kick your ass! But number 5, Noob Saibot with Liu Kang versus Titan Havoc. You fight and defeat Titan Havoc, and then he begins to laugh. He slowly gets back to his feet. In all of the timelines, this is the first time that one of my creations has managed to knock me off my feet. My work is truly impeccable, but now the time for play has ended. Noob tries to bum rush Havoc again, only to be chest beamed into oblivion. His flesh is charred, his arm flies off, his eyeball pops out. It looks like he just got hit by a flaming train, leading into Chapter 11, Liu Kang. It's Time Titan versus Time Titan, here we go. Liu Kang fights Havoc and wins, but Havoc just gets back up and has 2 more of his minions to fight Liu. Liu beats them, and then he fights Havoc again. Liu wins, but Havoc gets back up. 2 of his minions fight Liu, which he beats. And in each of these fights, Liu is having a different character act as a cameo. Cyrax, then Scorpion, then Sector, then Garrus. But between each fight, they get tackled or incapacitated to some degree. It's also pointed out that the Kamidogu are what's making Havoc double invincible, where nothing is working even a little. Until it comes down to Liu Kang versus Havoc. Round 3, Liu Kang has no cameo, he is all alone, and the fate of his timeline rests on him winning this fight. Round 3, once again Liu Kang wins. Havoc's on the ground, laughing his ass off though, saying, I can do this forever! When suddenly, a shadowy black hand comes up from the ground and holds him down. Liu Kang looks over, and it's 95% dead Noob Saibot, with his good arm raised, summoning his shadows. Noob Saibot chokes out,
The Kami Dogu.
Liu runs over to Havoc, stands over him, and rips one of the Kami Dogu out of his chest. Havoc screeches in agony and is thrashing around, trying to escape his clutches before Liu Kang could pull out any more, tearing his own limbs out of joint in an attempt to escape. Noob's grasp, but to no avail. Liu Kang quickly rips out all 6 Kami Dogu, leaving Havoc short-circuiting and twitching on the ground like a mouse with a broken spine. Liu Kang says, I may not be able to kill you, and even if I could, I do not know what would become of your timeline. So instead, you are going to the void, an endless chasm of nothingness, where you have no power, and you will remain for all eternity and beyond. And with that, and some magical hand movements, Titan Havoc is reduced to dust, having been banished to the void. In the background, you can see Sector is tending to Noob Saibot, and Scorpion is tending to Smoke. Both are breathing, but just barely. Epilogue! We cut to the Wuxi where both Smoke and Noob are in healing coffins. Liu Kang comments that he should be able to heal their bodies with time, but he looks down at Noob and says, Havoc's Chaos Magic on the other hand, I am not sure. Leaving Noob's fate open-ended. He might turn back into Sub-Zero, he might stay Noob, who knows. Cyrex runs the shit out of you. Sector now runs the Lin Kuei. It's shown that Johnny and the OIA guys were able to survive and minimize the damage done, and Liu Kang is having tea with Madame Bo. They briefly discuss what has gone on, what is next, and Liu Kang says, I hope that, for some time, we see peace. Which segues perfectly into our mid-credit scene. Pan over a field of dead and burning soldiers at the base of a mountain, and then zoom in on the entrance to a cave. Reiko is on the ground, impaled on his own spear, and General Shao is standing, wounded, facing into the cave. I revived you. I saved you. You are in debt to me. You will obey me. Out of the darkness, you can barely make out the figure of a massive, hulking reptilian man with a wide wingspan and bright orange eyes that glow with rage. I do not obey. He opens his mouth, takes a deep breath to wind up a fireball, and the glow of the flame in his mouth illuminates to show it's Onaka. And that's the end of my version of Chaos Reigns. I'll add on another probably hour to 90 minutes to it. Doesn't require too many new assets to be built or bought. Varies up the gameplay, plants a bunch of seeds for the future, more characters get screen time, and pays over some massive plot holes. What do you think of my version of Chaos Reigns? Let me know, and make sure you follow for more MK content.